Hi, I'm going to give you a walkthrough of the platform that we have created to help biorepositories promote and enable the wider sharing of data for research. So the goals of building the platform was to provide the biorepositories the ability to securely share whole slide images for research use, along with associated relevant metadata, making sure that the data is easily findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable. The admins of the platform have the ability to invite researchers to search the data along with any kind of metadata that is associated with the whole slide images. And it also provides the viewers to view the data and the tools for creating any kind of projects and annotations. The researchers have the ability to import and use any kind of AI module that they would like to use for the research. And based on authentication and permission, they would be able to download the slides if needed. Some other use cases of the platform is to pick the best block that has the tissue and the tumor for molecular studies, because many times we get a block that doesn't have any kind of tissue or tumor in it. So if you have the ability to preview the whole slide image and then pick the block, that would save a lot of time. It also provides the ability to pool data from multiple repositories, especially when it is related to rare diagnoses like tumors in childhood. The platform allows the ability to bring in radiology images along with the pathology images, any kind of clinical images, endoscopic videos. So it's almost like a single ecosystem for all data that could be brought in for research. And then also has the ability to make the data and the annotation that were created reusable by other researchers or by the same researcher for other projects. So now I'm going to give you a walkthrough through the platform. So this is the platform that we have created for the CHTN. So any admin within the platform, they can log into the platform. And once they log into the platform, they have the ability to upload all the data that they would like to make available for research use. So they could create folders or they could create subfolders for any or for all the data. So that this is the creation of the folder subfolder. And once they've created a folder or a subfolder, then they would be able to upload the files within that folder. Once all the whole slide images have been uploaded, they can then add any kind of CSV file or any kind of Excel file to link all the metadata to the whole slide images or the radiology images. So once the metadata has been uploaded, then it would be available for any researcher to look at the metadata and also like do a deep dive or search for based on the metadata. So I could come in here and then look for any kind of data that I would like to use for my research project. So this will allow them to also view all the whole slide images. So any kind of whole slide image uploaded from any scanner would be available for viewing along with the associated metadata of the file. If there's any radiology file that has been uploaded, then you can also view the radiology file because the available radiology viewer is also inbuilt into the platform. If you are uploading any kind of data that you would like to make available with the label, you could also do that, but most biorepositories don't want to put the label, but you could also provide the image with the metadata and the label. It can also take in any kind of slides where you can have these multiple tissues from the block available on the platform. The admin also has the ability to completely manage all the users on the platform. So they would be able to add any kind of user that they would like to bring onto the platform, and they could then select what kind of role they would like to give to the user. And the user rights can be already predetermined based on the role. So they would be able to say like what kind of rights or authentication does the user have based on predetermined values. And they can also like do a complete audit of the platform, like based on what was done on the platform, what kind of data was uploaded, any kind of region of interest, templates that were uploaded on the platform, who did the changes on the platform, and this would then provide them with a date and a timestamp which can be downloaded and used for recording. So for any researcher that wants to now come in and like look at this data, they would be able to first register on the platform. So once they register, they would be able to provide all the information that they would want the admin to have. And once the admin gets a message that a researcher from institution X or Y or Z is trying to come into the platform, they would be able to approve of them. And once it has been approved by the admin, then they would have the ability to log into the platform. So as a researcher, when you log into the platform, you can then now search all the data sets. So you can look at all these data sets and then you can say, I want to search this data set. And then based on the search, so let's say I'm looking for tissue that is, I'm looking for a diagnosis that is melanoma. So I could type in melanoma here and then see how many cases of melanoma are available on the platform. And so there were 86 records. I could then look at these slides. I could then pick what slides I need for my research. And then, so let's say I selected these 3 files and I want this for my research. So this is melanoma project. Copy. And then I have these files here, the melanoma project. I could then go in here and this, I say I would like to like have the ability to download these files. So once I put in the ability, the admin would immediately get a notification that researcher XYZ is trying to download files. So once all the approvals, the payments, whatever needs to be done has been completed, then the admin of the platform can go in here. They can see that what kinds of files that the researcher wants for the research, and then they can approve of the download or use of those files. So once they approve, then the researcher would be able to come in and have the ability to use that data set that they had selected for their own research. I also have the ability to download the data set. So now they have the ability to download all these files. So one this so it makes it very convenient for any researcher to come into the platform, look at the data, and then select what data they need for research, and then come in here, and then they can come in here and create an AI project. So for creating an AI project, they would have the ability to like add in the project details. So this is the template for creating the entire data project. They can also like type put in any kind of education material they would like to put, like if they would like to invite other researchers, so they could have this education material that they would like to provide to other researchers. And then this one, like if they want to provide annotation guidelines, they would be able to then provide the annotation guidelines. So coming back to our project, they would then be able to add the region of interest. Also, they are able to upload any kind of documents like IRB approvals and all into the platform. They can then pick the regions of interest they would like to put on the slide. So it could be a rectangle or it could be a circle. For each region of interest, they would be able to add the labels. What kind of labels do they need, whether they need it for an annotation or they need it for a region of interest. They can select the data sets that they would like to use for their research, and then also have the ability to create these templates. So they would have the ability to create any kind of template that they would like to use for their data collection. So this is a template that we created for this project where they want to collect the tumor characteristics, but it could be anything. They would be able to like add like whether necrosis is present or whether PDL1 is available or not. And they can add multiple different kinds of multiple choice questions or give some kind of a grading to the tumor. So any kind of template can be created that they would want to use for collection of the data. So once they have created the template, then they would be able to assign the data sets to specific researchers that they would like to involve in the project. So they would then be able to give the researcher the ability to either view other people's annotations, edit and other people's annotations, delete any other annotations. So all the permissions can be controlled by the PI of the research project. So once they assign this to any specific researcher that they have within the organization, the researcher would have the ability to come in and then see what kind of project that they have been involved in, So if I go in here, I go into my projects, I'll see that this project has been assigned to me. So I could see all the descriptions of the project. I could go in and like look at all the teaching material, any kind of documents that have been associated with the project, and then also like go in and look at the slides. So within the slides, I have the ability to look at the slides and along with the metadata. And if any kind of template has been associated with the slides, I would be able to go in and then fill in the template. So in this one, like what is the major histological grade? So I could say there is a papillary tumor, there's a micropapillary tumor. So how many histological grades are available? So I could say 2 and then save this basically. So once I've done this, then I could go ahead and then annotate the slides. So let's go in here and then say I want to annotate this data here. I could go in here and then create a freehand tool here and then say what kind of grading I would like to give. So I'm going to say this is like an acinar type of tumor and then submit my annotations. So I could look at all the slides, add all the information for the templates, annotate the different kinds of things that have been asked for me to annotate. And once I've done that, I would submit all the annotations. So once I've completed my project, the admin would then get a notification that the project has been completed by the researcher that was assigned the project. And then I would just be able to go in here and look at the results. So when I go in here, I can look at the results that Raj has completed around 50% of the annotations. I could go and look at what annotations were created, what was added to the data templates, and then I would be able to download all these annotations that either as an XML file or even as APIs to be used for any kind of data. Like if I want to take this to QUPath or I want to use this with VisioFarm or Halo, I would be able to download all this data and use it for any kind of AI project that I would like to build or validate. As already mentioned, any AI algorithm can also be integrated into the platform and be used. For example, in this one, we have already integrated a KI67 module. So if I want to evaluate the and use the KI67 algorithm, I could just go into the slide, click on the AI. It will give me all the models that we have already integrated into the platform. So this is the KI67. So let's say we want to evaluate the KI67 here. So like I'm going to draw the annotation here. And then submit. This will automatically run the KI67 module in the backend and then provide you with the results. So any kind of AI module, so you can see now that it is already run the algorithm and provided you with the results. The upcoming features on the platform that you are going to see in the near future are DICOM compatibility of the viewer, which should be completed by October 2023. We are also working on the FDA approval of the pathology viewer, which should also be completed by the end of this year. We are adding some tools that would help you find similar images that should be available in a couple of months. We are adding a multiplex image viewer to enhance the ability of the platform. And then it can also be integrated already with VisioFarm, but we are also trying to integrate with other platforms that you would like to use for the annotated data. Thank you very much.